Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? I am Amy, and this is Astro, and we are coming to you live on the Altenew YouTube and Facebook channels for Amy's Inspiration Station. Hello, hello. And I see Nancy from San Francisco, and oh my gosh, warm and sunny San Francisco. And we have Deb. Hello, Deb. And Sandim3567 on your lunchtime. We need to know what you're eating there. I'd love to know. I don't think I got lunch today. I'm not quite sure. Hey, Sue. Hello. I know Astro came in to say hello. Usually you just see his tail, but if you were here a little earlier, you got a glimpse of his a lovely, lovely face. He loves to come in and craft with me. I wonder if you have any fur babies coming in to craft with you. This is Astro. Hi, Astro. And we are here. Hello, Tamara. Hello. And Jennifer from New York. I hope you are having a great day. What do you think, Astro? Astro wants to go outside and get some birds, right? Yeah. But we are talking seahorses today, actually. And I am playing around with the newest Mini Delight. In fact, it's not out in the shop yet. And if you are a subscriber for our Mini Delights, this is something that you probably already have. Or maybe it's coming your way. So this is the June Mini Delight. I can't believe we are almost in June. It is so crazy. And but I am really excited to play around with this. And the June, for those of you who are subscribers and maybe you have the June sets, they're like a lot of sea stuff. So if you're like an ocean lover or you love the beach, Nancy, I'm just even thinking about you over there in San Francisco. It's like this is probably the month you want to grab these. And if you don't have these yet, they will be live in the shop in June. Oh my gosh, is that right? She is live with the new swan stencil. Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Thank you, Carrie, for letting me know. And I know we're both gray. We are gray today because it honestly, it's not only that, Sue, but it's like it's matching the weather out there. So it's kind of like everything's a little gray. So, oh my gosh. And we have Deb from Wisconsin. Hello, Deb. And grapes and ceviche. Ooh, actually, I think I might want to come over there for lunch. Hello, Wendy. And I see Jennifer. I saw it again. Hello. And it would be so awesome if you could share this live while we're live, and you'll be entered to win a gift card from Altenew. And Cece, hello, Cece from Sweden. Hello. She is in my future because she is a little bit ahead of us. But I'm so excited to see you all and that we're here. Are you ready, Astro, for some crafting? He's ready. And this is what we're going to be talking about. It's so adorable. And I love making little bits of like scene things. And so I am going to play around a little bit. And I want to start off with like two different backgrounds. I can't make cards on both of them, but we're going to choose one of the backgrounds that we like. But I'm going to show you how I'm making two and then how we put this little guy together. And of course, all the Mini Delights come with both a die set and also a stamp set. And this stamp set's really neat because you have these cool, like you can imagine all these neat backgrounds that you can make just with these two leaves. And this guy is just adorable. And the fact that you can even go ahead and cut out some of that seaweed. All right. So that's really neat too. All right. And we have Vermont, Jacqueline. Hello. And thank you so much, Carrie, for sharing this, and Tamara. And again, please share this live while we're live. You'll be entered to win a gift card. And I am ready to go. Are you guys ready? All right. I'm going to switch over my camera if I can figure that out today. And we are going to see what the heck is going on. All right, so I'm going to pop on down to my camera. Let me know if everything's okay, if sound is okay, and everything else as well. Oh my gosh, Carrie, thank you so much. Carrie's letting us know that there are some deep sets on sale. So go ahead and check that out over there. All right. That was not the dramatic change that I wanted, guys. I got to tell you, it wasn't supposed to pop up in the tiny window. All right, here we go. So let's go down and you're going to see some cool stuff right there. Nope, still didn't do it. We're getting there. We're getting there. There we go. Hello, everybody. All right, this looks great. So as you can see, we are playing around with this Graceful Seahorse. Hello, and who is behind our badge today? I need to know who is behind our badge. We are talking about the adorable Mini Delight, and this is Graceful Seahorse. And I'm going to be talking about 2 different backgrounds that we're going to do. So please share this live if you think somebody who really likes scene cards, or maybe is not, doesn't, not quite sure what to do with scene cards. That would be awesome. All right, here we go. Yes, I definitely say it's always a time to shop, Nancy. Always a time to shop. All right, here we go. All right, Astro, I apologize. By the way, Astro was like literally right there. So he's like, no, mama, I need cookies because you cannot do crafting right now because when you go in your craft room, you don't come out, right? So, but right now we are just going to be crafting. All right. So because of this fact that this seahorse is like a nice long guy, I thought, and I got to say, I think like my last 3 lives, I've been doing odd card sizes. I just realized that I've been doing like some different card sizes for you guys, but that's good because we can get a whole thing. So I got to tell you, I love a mini slimline, and a mini slimline, if you don't make them, they are 3.5 by 6.5, and this is their size. So this middle part right here, this is an A2. Let me see if I can grab an A2 for you. So this is an A2 card size, and this is our mini slimline. So it's just slightly a little bit more, but I thought because I have this kind of up and down section that's going to be really nice with the seahorse. Oh, thank you so much. Absolutely. I hope you guys enjoy this today. And of course, we have our fabulous fan group. And so if you end up making any cards from this, we'd love to know that. And you can do #Altenew. And that way we can see all the amazing things that you make. And I'd love to know who my subscribers are out there, who my subscribers, and who already has this seahorse. I'd love to know that. Oh, thank you so much, Nancy. And Shimara, thank you so much for sharing this. And I know, Sue, I was thinking about it too. I'm like, I don't know the last time I made a slimline card. The neat thing too is you can also do your slimline in this direction, or you can do it in the up and down. And because the seahorse is tall, I'm going to do this in the up and down. And it's going to give me space. And just to kind of show you also why I was doing it this way, is this is the die. We're going to be playing with him in a second. But it gives me space for 2 cute seahorses, where if I did an A2, I could probably get 2 seahorses in there, but they might be a little cramped. So I thought this would be a better size. Well, we're going to do mini slimlines. And we have Han today. Han, oh my gosh. Han, do you love seahorses? They are gorgeous. I haven't seen them in a long time because I have to go to the aquarium to see them, but I love seahorses. I think they're so neat and such a cool thing to do. All right, so I know you guys are like, yay, Amy, you're using Graceful Seahorses. I'm actually I'm going to start off. I'm going to put these guys on the side so we know where we're going to, but I am going to actually start with a background, and I am going to start with an alcohol ink background. So when you're doing alcohol ink backgrounds, I need a special kind of paper, because if I take alcohol ink, and when I talk about alcohol ink, there are markers. So this is an alcohol marker. And then there are the refills, right? And this is what I'm talking about, is this guy right here, which is a refill. And that's what I'm kind of referring to. So I'm going to do a little alcohol ink background. Now, if I were to pour this onto regular cardstock is porous, right? It's paper, and it is organic. So this stuff is going to soak right in. It's not going to move around, and it's not going to spread. And I'm just going to end up with alcohol soaked cardstock. So instead, what I use is I'm going to use plastic, which is really what Yupo paper is. This is paper, but it's really this plasticky paper, and it cuts like paper. It's relatively thinnish. It does cut easily. You can die cut out of it, but that's what I need to use because it has this surface to it. Oh my gosh, right, Han? Me too. I can't wait for the beach. This is teasing me so much because I really, really want to go to the beach, I have to say. All right, and I see, I'm just kind of looking to see. And Nancy, you already have your June subscription. That's awesome. Does it make you want to go to the beach though? I have to say. Oh, it's awesome. And we have everybody. Awesome. Okay. Awesome. I'd love to know who's out there like making different cards, like different card sizes. I feel like I've been stuck in an A4, size lately. All right. So I'm just grabbing a couple of different alcohol inks. Now I'm going to make an ocean background. So of course I'm going to pull a lot of blues, but where I live, which is next to the Atlantic Ocean, and I'm going to say for those of you who live on a different ocean, you can tell me a little bit different. But on my side where my ocean is, and I'm up in the north, my ocean is a little bit on the green side. So when I imagine an ocean, I actually don't think of blue. I actually think of green, which is why I pulled the Shadow Creek, because we have a green ocean. So yeah, poster board is cheaper and works. Oh, that's great to know, Carrie. You have trouble die cutting UPO. So I definitely use shims with it, and you do need to make sure that it's dry and you get quite a bit of pressure on it. Now you want the mountains. That's awesome. No, it's going to bring you down to the sea. I know. All right. So the other thing that I have to confess a little bit, because this is a little bit of a confession time, is when I do alcohol ink backgrounds, I tend to like bring every single color out. I know I don't need these, but I tend to bring out every single color. And so I have way too many more than I need. And I'm not going to use all of these, but I'm just kind of putting them over on the side. So I just grabbed what I had that was kind of greenish and also bluish. And, I got different shades of green. I got blue, I got blue blues. I got blue green. I got like a subdued green. And then I brought in a little yellow, or see, I don't know if he might make an appearance. I'm not quite sure. But then I also have these. And I have to say, I didn't even open these up. So maybe I don't need them. We'll see what's going on. I'll keep them over to the side. We'll figure what's going on. All right. So so thank you, Nancy, from Connecticut, and it's green. I'm in Massachusetts. It's green up here. And not with the tides at Ocean Beach. Well, that's true. I can give you that one. Yes. And then, so that's right. So you have like your own vision of what your ocean should be and what your water should be. So you go with that. There is no wrong answer, but I'm just going to kind of throw these in. Okay. So I like to start off when I do my alcohol inks backgrounds I like to start off with a little bit of alcohol or some alcohol blending solution. So it's got a couple of things. We're going to have a little bit of safety talk, everybody. Okay. We're going to have a little safety talk in the craft room here. So I have a bottle. This is just a little bit of a sprayer. It's a larger sprayer. This is filled in with alcohol, and I like to use isopropyl for 91%. And that's going to, give me a lot of time. It is going to dry a bit, but it's going to take this ink and it's really going to smoosh it around and move it around where I want it to go. However, this is volatile. And what that means in the chemistry world is that this will go from a liquid when it's in the bottle up into a gas very quickly. As soon as this comes out, this is going to go off into a gas. And so you need to make sure you're in a well-ventilated area when you're using alcohol. And you also need to make sure that everything is labeled. So things like if you have a sprayer and you're putting alcohol in this, you want to make sure that this is labeled so you know what the heck it is and you're not grabbing this, and doing something else with it or drinking from it, etc. I also keep food away, but that's just because I'm lab trained. So there's no food when I'm doing this kind of a thing. All right. So I'm going to start off with just a little bit of alcohol blending solution. And I'm just going to put this up. And Jackie, I'm so glad you're able to be here today. And I feel really lucky that this popped up in your notifications. All right. So I just put a little bit, I'm just kind of coasting this around. And I'm going to grab one of my lightest colors and I'm going to put some polar bear on this. And we're just going to put on a couple of drops. And the thing about the alcohol inks, and I have a much larger piece than I really need here. And that's because I'm going to cut this down. And when I make this, because I take a lot, there's a lot going on, I definitely take my time. I make sure that things are going. And I kind of take that tact of like, hey, you know what? We're just going to literally go with the flow. And that's what it's all about when you're doing an ocean kind of background, is we are going with the flow. Now, if anyone is here, actually, if Cece's still here from over there on the North Sea, this is kind of looking a little bit North Sea-ish, at least the way that I imagine it. But this is, I got to tell you, it's a gorgeous color. I hope it's coming through. This is polar bear. And then there's also this icy water. These are gorgeous. This is a little bit darker. And all I'm trying to do is just get a little bit of a background. And then I'm going to start really messing around with this in a moment. Woo. All right. Just getting that to be a little on the drier side. Okay. Now I'm just going to drop in a couple of drops of icy water. And I literally just kind of, wherever I feel like it's happening, wherever I feel like things are going, I just drop stuff in. You also can use a straw to blow this around. Or you can use a bowl to blow this around too. And thanks, Carrie. Carrie, when's the last time you did alcohol ink smooshing? I think for me, it's been a while. Oh, here's my cat. You know what? I know you guys can't see him. Here, Astro, you want to say hi to everybody? Astro just came in. He just smelled the alcohol and he's like, what are you doing, Mama? Where's my cookies? And why? Oh, he's backing away. He's doing that like slow cat back away where he's like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm not loving it right now. Oh, it's so cool. I always love this because it just reminds me of like rocks and all kinds of stuff. And again, the cool thing about the Yupo paper, because I'm going to cut this out where I want it. My ultimate size where I'm heading to is this size. So I'm going to be able to choose where I want to go. Oh, you do monthly craft sessions? Nice. 3 weeks ago. That's awesome. Do you do that together or is that online, Carrie, that you do your craft sessions? Such a great thing. I have to say, I love that about our community. We get together and you just hang out and you play and you just like you talk and things happen, right? You never know. And then there's a, Carrie, is it what stays in the craft area? Stays in the craft area, right? All right. So this is looking like a little bit North Sea-ish. And then, so you use straws and that's totally fine. And very easy to do. Easy to do, not a problem. So this is looking very like North Sea-ish. So I want to start bringing in a little bit of that like tropical feel to it. And so I'm going to add a little bit of these types of, teal kind of aqua stuff. And again, I just pulled what I had. So I don't have every single color, but I just kind of pulled what I have. I'm staying lightish because I want to start to pull in those darker colors in just a moment, but I'm staying very light right now. And then we're going to build the drama. So I'm kind of like building these things up as we go along. And I still want to keep these like areas of light, but I really just kind of play around. And then you can see as I'm adding these colors in, the ink is pooling in specific locations. And that's what's going to give us the build and the drama and the waves and kind of the movement that we're looking for. All right, let's move this guy over here. And sometimes I hate it when I have these like little crazy drops. And so I can just come in with my alcohol sprayer or some blending solution. And I'm just going to get that to, if I turned it on, it would be good. Let's turn that on. There we go. Oh, turned it off. There we go. Woo. There we go. Woo, that's too much. Oh, sorry, guys. That was too much. But now I can start to break that up. So wherever that alcohol is, it's going to start to move that ink around. So that's kind of the neat thing. Nancy, this is so cool. Nancy, do you do this? Have you done alcohol ink backgrounds? It's one of those things that you can totally get into. I have a problem because I don't know when to stop and I just keep going. But that's kind of my issue. All right. So now that I have that on there, let me just add a little bit more on. I just want to start moving this around here a little bit. Okay. All right. So I want to start building up a little bit of that color. I feel like we've got some good things. I'm going to bring in ocean waves. All right. And I have to say, thank you, Han, for like keeping track of what the heck I'm adding because I have no idea what the heck I've been doing. I just start pulling colors and I just start throwing them in. That's totally what I do. Now, eventually, as I'm kind of moving this through, what's happening is I'm starting to imagine my card and where my background is going to be. So I'm going to start to add some dark colors to one end. And again, I want this size. I can't really go this direction, so I have to go up and down. So I'm starting to imagine this to be my darker end, and this is going to be a little bit on the lighter part, okay? So I'm going to start to add some darker colors here. But I love how these different types of blues really work together. And since we're in this blue family, they're all going to look absolutely beautiful together. Absolutely, Carrie. And I love that Carrie had mentioned that, and it really is about that. And that's really the art of it, I think, too, is like, when are you putting in how much alcohol, excuse me, that you're adding in? And that's going to cause that movement to happen. Okay, I like this. It's nice and bright. I'm going to add in a little bit. Here's sweet leaf. I'm going to add in a little sweet leaf. Sweet leaf is green, but it's a little on the minty side. And I'm just going to put a little bit in here. Just want to tone this blue just down. There we go. I also could add in yellow. And if I put yellow in, it's going to keep it a little yellow, but it's also going to make some areas green. And that's why I brought that chamomile in. Okay, and I'm just going to bring in some blending solution. I just want to start to move this around a little bit. Looks a little green. And like I said, I start losing where the heck I go. All right. I have to say, I got some gorgeous colors for this seahorse today. And again, we are talking about, oh, they're gorgeous, right? We're talking about this Graceful Seahorse. And this is part of the June release. And I can't believe we're already talking about June. And this is the month. So if you have the Mini Delights subscription, you already have this in your hot little hands. And I'd love to know if you've made some cards with this or not. All right. So I'm loving how that, so this is feeling like, now this is looking like Atlantic Ocean to me. Okay. All right. I brought in some Persian blue and I have some dusk, and these are a lot darker. And I'm going to start with this Persian blue. And I'm going to put this down at the bottom and just see how this guy kind of looks down here. Woo. Okay, there we go. And then at some point in time, my brain just has to say, Amy, please stop. It's too much. We're going on here. And who does the foil technique? So when your alcohol ink background, it's like just tacky, you actually can put on some foil, and that foil will release and you can end up with this really cool marbled effect. And I apologize. I'm not going for that today, so I didn't grab that foil, but it's definitely something that you can do. And you do want to let this sit before you go ahead and die cut it. But I'm loving how this is looking. So again, if you can imagine this panel, we're coming this way with it. Okay. All right. I'm loving that. I'm going to add just a little bit of dark green here. Hello, Elizabeth from Scotland. Jennifer, thank you so much for sharing this. And you too can be like Jennifer and be entered to win a gift card to Altenew. We have Han behind the badge. Han, hello. Han, are you having a fabulous day today? I know I am. Because you know why? Because tomorrow is Friday, and that means that it's the weekend. And does anybody have any fabulous weekend plans? Oh, I know we do, Han. Han, do we have some fabulous weekend plans coming up? Is anybody else going to be joining me for the fabulous weekend plans that are coming up? Oh, silver and blue, Carrie. Oh, I was just thinking about that. I'm like, oh, I needed the silver. Okay. So I'm kind of loving this. I'm kind of digging it. I want to add a little bit here, and I want to get a little bit nuts. I'm going to just look and see what this chamomile does. Oh, today's your birthday, Nancy. Happy birthday. Hello. All right. So as I add this chamomile, you can notice when it hits the blue, it's going to start to do this very warm looking green. But I also have these like little other sections to it. And that's what I kind of love, is now we're going to get into this crazy little bit of dark section. Ooh, okay. Just imagining again. So bring my section in. I love that. So that's going to be, ooh, I think I'm almost there. Let me do just a little bit of sea glass, but I want to put in a little bit more blending solution just right up here. Okay. This is nice and beautiful down here. I'm just going to put in just a tad. I just want to move this guy around up here. And I'm just going to add in a little bit of sea glass. Just want this to be a little bit lighter and a little bit brighter because it feels like this is totally separate from here. So I'm just going to try to get those two together, because we're going from that very light to like this really deep dark. And I got a little bit of green down here. So I'm going to break this green up in just a second, and I'll show you how I do that. Okay, I'm loving this. This is looking good. I'm going to throw this guy down here. Oh, yeah, there we go. There we go. Got it. Okay, now I'm going to break this up. So I'm not going to add another color. I'm just going to break it up by putting some blending solution right on here, just on that green. And that's going to allow those other colors to start to show through, because that's going to break that green down and it's going to lighten it up a little bit. So you can see that blending solution starting to work. And it's really starting to lighten this section up. And then I'm just going to start to move it because I want to keep this dark, but I don't want to keep it totally dark. All right, there we go. Okay, this is, I got to say, I think we're done, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us today. I love this background. And again, we're talking today about the Graceful Seahorse die set. So if you can imagine this little seahorse kind of working his way through this really cool alcohol ink background. And that's what we're going for today. Oh, I love it. Okay. So I think I'm going to stop here. Interest of time mainly. I'm loving this. I'm going to wait for this to dry. And Carrie, I got to say you inspired me a little bit. I think if you guys will be okay, I'm going to run over to my side bench and I'm going to grab some silver foil because I think that silver foil is going to be really, really cool on this with the blue. Now, there was another background that I wanted to show you, and I think we can do this very quickly while we're waiting for that to dry. And I'm going to move my inks, and that actually is to create an ocean, you can believe it, with our markers. And that's what I have here. So I have beautiful teal, blue, everything else. Oh, it's so pretty, but I have that up here. So I'd love to know, oh, Elizabeth's going to be working in her garden and watercoloring with the shiny. Oh, that's exciting. All right. And, oh, is anybody going to be joining us at the Secret Garden Retreat, which is happening this weekend? So we have the Secret Garden Retreat this weekend. So excited to be hanging out. All right. I think I need to. Ooh, that would be cool. It's Ivory Black foil. All right, I think I'm looking for some silver, and I think I got to put on my wish list that I need some silver foil, guys, but that's okay. We'll get there. Here we go. Hi, Astro. I know. How are you doing? All right, problem with the foil, when you do happen to put it on, you want to really use... You want to make sure that it's just tacky enough. And I tend to do a little bit of like a hit or miss with this. And silver foil. Awesome. Oh, okay. All right, I'm out of silver. Good to know, everybody. I'm going to go in with some rose gold. This looks pretty cool. All right, someday on the retreats, they look like fun. They are really neat, Carrie, I got to say. We do have a lot of fun. But as you know, anytime you're crafting, you're having a ton of fun. Okay. So I'm going to take this. I'm just going to take I just want to go to this section. Ooh, I think it might actually be tacky enough. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of foil section. And this is great if you have like leftover sections. Like when you pull the release off of the foil and you're like, oh, I wasted so much. This is a way to really not waste that foil. Is you can take the little bits of it that are left over and you can start to put them down. And I'm going to see if this works. I always kind of mess up and I'm like, oh, it's just not ready, or it looks like a mess or whatever it happens to be. But you just take that foil and you're going to put that down. And when you lift it up, magically, ta-da, you have some rose gold. And so this is that rose gold Altenew foil. I don't know where my package. Oh, here it is. This is rose gold Altenew foil, and the Altenew has some really gorgeous colors. And you don't have to put everything down. You can do like little tiny sections. I'm going to do some over here. And it just gives this kind of like neat earthy glow. This almost looks like a little bit of kelp to me, which I think is kind of neat. But you do have to time it right. And it is kind of one of those things that it's a little hit or miss. Sometimes it works for me and sometimes it doesn't. And then I'm going to be okay with that. All right, I just want to add a little bit up here. See what it is. I'm trying not to transfer the ink because I have ink on here. So I'm trying not to transfer that up. All right, I'm going to stop there because now I'm getting alcohol ink all over my hands. And so I'm going to pause there. But how cute is that, right? And then we're going to get our little seahorses from the Graceful Seahorse layering die set from the Mini Delight, and we're going to put those on there. And those seahorses are going to have a ton of fun time swimming around. And that's, again, use those little leftover scraps. I hold on to them in a little bucket. And when I have things like this that I'm doing some backgrounds, I make sure and I go ahead and put those on there. Now, I have all this ink on my hands. I can just take a little bit of that isopropyl and just put that on my hands. And that is going to clean up relatively well. Clean up my space. Okay, and then I'm ready to go. Oh, it's so cool. I can't wait. I'm kind of like, oh, I should just go and make the seahorses, but I want to show you this, but I think I'm gonna keep on going with the alcohol ink background because I think that's gonna look pretty neat when we go to it. All right, so I'm gonna take about 10 minutes and I'll show you this and then we'll start cutting up some seahorses. All right, so again, if you're just joining us, thank you so much. We have Han behind the badge today and we are talking about Mini Delight subscription, and this one is June's, and this is the Graceful Seahorse. And I love this set because of the fact that there's a lot going on here. You have this really cool die cut seahorse, and then you also have these really neat pieces of kelp that could, honestly on their own could be a background. And then you have these really cute sentiments as well. And I love that because of the fact that, you know, this on a set on its own is neat. And then the price point of these is always good. But if you are a subscriber, you have an opportunity to get that a little bit earlier. All right, so I'm just going to keep these up here. We're going to get that seahorse. So I'm going to come in and I'm just going to use my markers. I'm going to start with my lightest blue. So this one is Sea Glass. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my marker and I'm just going to go all over this. Okay. And actually, before I start, I am going to grab a piece of paper just to keep my mat a little bit clean. Here's a little pro tip for you. Just grab a piece of scrap paper and I'm just going to put this under this. And this is just because I know I'm going to go right over it. Okay, so that's my 0. So this is my guy. All right, so I'm just going to come right here and I'm just going to add this sea glass in. Now this right here, I like to use Bristol. In fact, I probably should have grabbed a piece of Bristol cardstock. I like to use Bristol cardstock with my alcohol marker sometimes because it kind of glides a little bit better. But this is a nice heavyweight, like 110-pound piece of white cardstock. Now, you'll notice that as I'm going through, my entire purpose here is to be choppy, okay? Because when you think about the ocean, it's choppy waves, right? And there's layers to it. And as I get up near I'm keeping it really kind of close and adding in quite a bit of ink as I'm in the bottom. But as I'm getting near the top, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to expand. So I'm going to start to get more white in there. I don't want it to be all blue. And then my goal is going to be to keep that white as much as I can. Okay. Oh, and hello, Sue. Thank you so much for sharing this to the Facebook group. And you too can be like Sue. We have about a half hour left in our live. Han, I don't want this to end. I don't want our live to end. I think we should keep going, right? There's so many other fun things to do here. But we have about a half hour left in our live. And please share this. And all right, so whenever you're coloring, I do want to say one thing because I know it definitely goes through my brain. And the thing that goes through my brain is, oh my God, Amy, what the heck have you done? And so you have to have that mantra. And I'm going to see if I even have my coloring mantras over here, which I just looked and I did before. Oops, there the piece. I don't know. Here they are. Those of you who have taken a class with me, you know my coloring mantras. And those are, it's a mess before it's a success. Use the dark to bring the light. It's just paper and go with the flow. All right. And that's what today is all about, is just going with the flow. And so keep this in mind as you're moving along. If you want to try this, if you're like, oh, I'd like to make an ocean background with my markers, who knew that you could do that? This is definitely one of those things that you can do. All right, I'm going to zoom in just slightly because I want to see. So I apologize in advance, but I'm going to try to zoom in just a little bit. There we go. And that's because we're going to move on to this next color. So the markers that I grabbed were from the cool, this is, CN is, oh, I forget. All right, I grabbed the Sea Glass group. And then I also grabbed Seashore group because this is like our teal, like there's teal in here. And then I also grabbed Sweet Dreams. And that's because Sweet Dreams is like a blue with a little bit of green to it. And those are the kind of the colors that I have. And these colors here, these are really like are my blue. And then, but I also have my green blue and then like a really tealy blue. So I kind of, that's where I'm heading to with this. So where I'm going to go next is I'm going to start to grab my, my darker colors, and I'm going to come right up the bottom. And again, I want to be kind of choppy, and I'm kind of practicing my stroke as I go along. I don't want this to be perfect. And you can see that I'm also trying to keep space in between each of these lines. I don't want to go all the way up with this dark color. I just want to go partially way up. And that's because this is going to kind of move up, and we're going to get lighter as we get to the top, and we're going to create a little bit of sparkle. So this is like if you were in the ocean and you're like underwater and you're kind of like looking up at the sun. That's where we are here. Okay. Now I'm also going to come in with that dark blue. So this is my teal, but now I'm going to come in with my blue. And again, I just kind of like start my motion. And then when I feel like I'm ready, I'm going to start to pull that blue in. Now, because I left some space and we have that white to fill in, that's where you're starting to get, for me, again, this is my Atlantic Ocean, which is mostly green. If you're on the Pacific, you know, Nancy's going to be like, Amy, it's a little bit bluer than that. That is true over there. But for me, my ocean is a little bit greener. So I always add a little bit of green in there. And your ocean might be different. Wherever it is that you live, you may not be this dark. I'm not sure. But I'm going to add in a little bit of this. And I'm just going to go up slightly. And now we're going to start to bring in our other color. Okay. And you can start to see that just this is kind of going on. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Han, right? It's like there's no mistakes. It's just kind of messing around. It's all good. It's all good. We're kind of hanging out. All right. I am looking for, I got SD4, CN4, Seashore. Here we go. Seashore 4. I think I used this one already. All right. This is emerald. This is a little bit on the darker side. And again, what you're doing is you're just building up that color. By the way, I also need to fill my markers. Woof. Definitely happening. All right, so those are my darker colors. I've laid those down, and I'm going to continue to build up these, but I'm just going to start here, and now I'm going to start to go to that mid color. And again, and the one thing I love about Altenew is everything's numbered. I know it's my 3. I know it's my 2. I know it's my 3rd shade, and so I'm going to grab those again. So again, I have that Seashore. I don't think this is Cool Summer Nights, but it might be. And then I have Sweet Dreams. And these are like my blue, green, and teal kind of colors. All right. So I'm going to come in now, and I'm going to now overlap from the top of this dark section all the way to a little bit high. But again, I don't want to go too crazy. And as I'm going in, I'm leaving that white space. Okay, I want to go right there. And that's white space is there, so I can come in with some of these other colors. And then that color that I'm putting on will be true. Does that make sense? Because we're laying it down in a much lighter section. So that is going to be true, instead of it being always layered on top. And then this also gives us that differentiation and that variation and that striation that's in that color. Okay, I got about 2 more minutes that I gave myself. And that is too light. This is the guy I want. Okay, Seashore. Okay, I'm going to come in here. A little bit green. Oh, gosh. Gorgeous. All right. Thank you so much for being in the craft room with me today. I hope this inspires you. And again, if you're just joining us, hello, I'm Amy. Thank you so much for being here. Please share this live while we're live, and you'll be entered to win a gift card to Altenew. We have Han behind the badge. And let us know where you shared this to. And if you are like, hey, you know what? I really, really love to do ocean scenes. Tag us, put it up there, put it up on social media, tag us and let us know that you got inspired by Altenew. We love to see that. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my number 2. So I'm moving these guys over to the side. And now I'm going to my number 2s. If I can grab them all. There we go. All right, now here is my number 2. So again, same thing. I'm going to start down here. Now, I'm going to actually leave even more like white space up here. I am going to go all the way to the top, but I'm going to be very, very light about it because I want that gradation of color as I go along. I'm also thinking now about this sun that's kind of coming through, and you can see that because of just the way I have my piece of paper, it's like, oh, you get some little dark marks in there. They seem to be in a little bit of a pattern. So I'm going to start to kind of try to draw your eye away from those. So we move along. All right, again, I'm going just kind of separating those, go along, and now I'm going to add in my third one. Here we go. All right, I'd love to know where you live. Where do you think of your ocean, right? Where do you think of your ocean? Are you thinking of a nice like Caribbean, very, very light blue ocean? Is yours like a stormy, dark blue ocean? Are you a green ocean? So think about your ocean. When you think about ocean or when you create your ocean, where is that? Like what color is it? What's in your mind? Do you have like a favorite vacation spot where you're like, oh, I just love, when we go down to wherever it is? Or hey, maybe you are living in someplace. Oh, I just made a super cool, Liz. Oh my gosh, Liz. Used watercolors. Oh, Liz, did you catch when I did the alcohol ink? Did you see that background that I'm about to pop in just a moment when I finish this with the alcohol markers? Just you wait. Can't wait to see what you do with this, Liz. You have such amazing, awesome ideas for things. So I'm really excited to see what you do. Okay. All right. This is my last guy. And then I'm going to show you guys a couple of things because I'm looking a little streaky. So that's where I'm going to come in and I'm going to start to put some other things in. And we're going to layer that color. And again, those coloring mantras, throw them in again for you guys, okay? That it's a mess before it's a success. Use the dark to bring the light. It's just paper and go with the flow. And that's where we are. Oh, so excited. East Coast of Elizabeth, what is your color? Like, what's your ocean look like? I'd love to know that. And Han, what's your ocean look like? Beautiful hues of blue. And love the Caribbean. There you go. And Facebook. Oh, Sue, I hope it's okay. Maybe super cool. That's awesome. All right. Let me see. You're doing okay. I'm just double checking everything. All right. We look okay. All right. I'm going to come in again. And this is where you're kind of like, where do I go? What do I do? And I want to break up some of this other stuff. And just to because I know this looks a little crazy, that's our ocean. So when I put this now on like a white card base, that really starts to pop. You see that now? And so you can see that you have this really beautiful graduation color. I'm going to futz with this a little bit more just to kind of even break it up. You could do splatter. You could do a whole bunch of things. But it's really, really cool when you start to kind of think about, using your tools in a different way. So what I'm doing now is I'm coming in with those darker colors and I am smoothing things out. I am like, oh, this needs a little bit of darker or this needs a little bit more green. And so I'm just trying to make things not super uniform. And maybe I want a little bit of dark up here. So this is kind of like that futz-it stage, I call it, where you're kind of like messing around and seeing where things are going to go. I also will move my card base up because sometimes if you keep it in the same spot, just where your pen hits it all the time, it's going to look the same. Okay. And again, you're making a background, right? That's our whole goal here is we're making a background. And that's what we are doing. All right. And I'm going to come in. I'm just going to take this. This is a very light blue. This is the sea glass. And I'm just going to come in and just start to smooth some of this stuff around. Okay. I'm going to, in the interest of time, I'm going to stop futzing with this, but in Syracuse. Oh, I got to say, Han, I got to come over and visit you. Tropical, beautiful country. That's where I would like to be right now. Not in the rain. In the rain. Okay. All right. So there's a couple of things now. I'm going to stop here. I could continue to go on. Like I said, you kind of have to have that, where am I going to stop? I'm going to grab my number 0. And number 0 is the colorless pen. And when you have a colorless pen, this is really cool because it acts a lot like this. And in fact, I could even take this distress sprayer and I could spray this on the paper and it's going to have a similar job. In fact, I might even try that. But I got a couple of things I want to show you. So I can take this and if I'm like, oh, it's a little too streaky or I want to have a little bit of light and I kind of want this really light like white section. So I'm going to actually pull some of that color off, and you got to give it a second. All right. You got to give it a second, but I'm going to just pull a little bit of that color off as we go on. And you'll start to see it where this will actually lift that ink, and it's super, super subtle, but you can kind of see it starting to get a little bit more lighter. And that's what I'm trying to do, is I just want to pull this color off. Okay. Another thing that I like to do with these kinds of backgrounds is I actually grab my friend Cloud White, and I noticed I was going to do bubbles, and I was actually going to grab my mini, these are the micros, right? This is the micro brush. Yeah, the micro blender sets right here. And I can grab my Cloud White, and I'm going to treat this like a stamp. So I'm going to stamp some bubbles. And I just want my bubbles, they're all going to be kind of different sizes. And I'm just going to put them in some cool little places. But isn't it neat? Have you ever thought about using your brush as a stamp? So I'm going to take this, and I'm just going to kind of stamp this around. And I don't want this to be super, like, I don't want obvious bubbles, but I want to have some bubbles. And because this is not a stamp, it's giving texture, and it's also, it's not like a perfect circle, right? And you can see me kind of bouncing up and down in that section. And what's happening is it's giving it a darker edge to something. And so, so that's what you're looking at. All right, I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to add some more larger bubbles down at the bottom. Now, what's cool about the micro blending set is there is actually a smaller brush size, and that is the number 7. So I'm going to come in my 7. Now this has pink on it. I don't care, because I'm putting this white on top. And I'm just going to come in, and I'm going to start to add these different color bubbles. Again, super duper subtle. You could come in and you could do some white splatter with this if you wanted to. And I'm going to have a lot more of these bubbles. I'm going to cluster them up at the top. And it's a little harder to see the bubbles because this top part is so light. That's why I'm going to go a little bit more force when I'm pressing down on this. What I was actually thinking too, which would be really cool, is with the stamp set for today, which is the Graceful Seahorses, is I could stamp in with these, which would be really neat. And that I think would be cool. All right. Never use pigment ink over alcohol marker. Yes, and it's so neat. So let me show this to you, because you're like looking at this crazy background. And that's what we have. So you can start to see it doing that. And I can even, and I'll just show you guys. This is gonna be a little crazy. Oh, I don't know if this is the first time I've ever done this, so we're gonna see what happens. By the way, this is alcohol, and I'm trying my best to do this right. Oh, didn't do it. There we go. I think, or I'm assuming, that this will start to take some of the alcohol away. It might not. I don't know. I don't think that did anything, but you can see those little white bubbles that are in there, and it just kind of breaks up everything. There we go. Yes, in the Creative Cut set. And that's what I was saying. If you have everything, like, that's neat. You could add some bubbles to this as well. All right, Liz, you ready? All right, so this are our 2 backgrounds that we're going to put, where are you? Our little seahorses on. Okay, so I'm going to take, I got 10 minutes. We're going to cut out some 2 seahorses, glue them up, and then we're going to put these cards together. How cool is this, right? How cool. Can you see little seahorses dancing around and playing around with these cool backgrounds? Neat little abstract backgrounds. Okay, I'm going to put these to the side. Those are our backgrounds hanging out to dry. And now we're going to come in with some paper. Now, I am cheating a little bit because I am using Altenews colored paper. And Han, I apologize. I'm like looking around for my paper. I just grabbed some paper. These are Altenews sheets. These are from the 3x6 sets, because I'm still have a ton of these and I'm trying to use them up. And I also have this really gorgeous, I just want to point something out. Like, how cool. This is going to be so neat. And that's also why I grabbed that rose gold. Like, it's going to be so cool. So stick around. Again, you have a little bit of time. Share this live while we're live. Or if you're like, oh my gosh, I came in late, I want to see what the heck happened, you can save this for later, or please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And that way you will always be notified when we are going live. All right, let me back up a little bit, guys. You ready? So that way you can see what the heck is going on. Back up a little bit. All right, that's my backgrounds. And I'm going to run these through. By the way, this seahorse, so easy to put together. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. And I'm going to cut these guys out of a couple of different things. What's neat too is we also have this, which is cool. And I'm actually going to cut him out of the Yupo paper. So if Carrie's still around, Carrie, I'll show you how, if I have some time, I'll show you how I cut him out of Yupo paper. But my Yupo paper might also be a little wet, so I'm not quite sure if I can do it today, but we'll see if it's dry enough. Okay. All right, so I'm going to cut 2 seahorses. I don't want them to be like identical colors, but they're going to be a little bit close. So I'm going to do one with a yellow. And that guy is going to be here. And then there's a little face. Love the little face. I'm going to do the face. The final face is going to be here. And I also want to do that one. I'm going to come in with this little guy with this face. And I love this because you can kind of do all of the things together, which is neat. And I want to cut this guy. I'll cut him out of this darker color. No, I don't want to do that. I want to cut him out of this. There we go. All right, this will make sense in a moment. So I'm going to put my plate on, and then we're going to get some seahorses, and we're going to start putting these seahorses together. All right. Who has cut out these seahorses? Love them. And again, this is the Mini Delight set for June. And so if you're a subscriber, you already have this. So super lucky. I hope that you try this. Please let us know if you end up making anything. We'd love for you to share it on social media. And I have to say there we go. The keyhole set just makes everything so easy to cut out to do. Oh, I love this little guy. Play with him in a second. Look at this little guy. He's so cute. Oh, my other seahorse jumped on me. That's not good. We'll fix you in just a moment. So my yellow seahorse did not come out okay, so we'll do that later. All right, so now I'm going to come in. I want to cut that seahorse. So where's this guy? Out of this, and we're going to cut this guy out of it. And then this is my background, and I'm going to cut him out of this guy. All right. Oh my gosh, they are so nice. I have to say, and this really saves you a lot of time. So where today I was really putting in the time on the background, this way I am, putting the time in on the let's see, this guy. This guy has a little face. All right, there we go. All right, apologize for doing this off screen. I definitely need a larger table today. Might need a bigger craft room. All right, here we go. So I'm going to put these all in together, and then I just need to cut one more, and then we're going to put some seahorses together. And I have to say, I love the Altenew glitter cardstock. I really thought this was going to be neat to have. And of course, I wanted some like tropical, corally kind of colors. So I grabbed what I could here. All right, that one did not work, so we're going to do him again. All right, can't wait to pop him out. Okay, he's ready to go. And here's my background finally for this guy. Okay, and I need another head here. Not you. I need a back head. And I need a background. Here we go. All right, here we go. All right. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and watching me die cut. All right. And this is going to be our last little run through. What colors would you make your seahorses? Huh? What colors would you do your seahorses in? I'd love to know. This guy is not playing well. There we go. There. Oh. Usually I stand up for this, so I get a little bit more leverage on, but I did not do that today. Okay. All right, let's get some seahorses together. This is my favorite part of the mini delights, to be perfectly honest, is like putting all of these little dies together. I love the little pieces because I love puzzles. I love jigsaws. And so this kind of reminds me of a jigsaw puzzle. So I think that's why I like it a lot. I really enjoy this section. Okay, so I'm going to grab my stamp wheel because this is awesome to, have and kind of put all your pieces together and really organize them. All right, so this comes with this little backing head. And then we also have a little body here. And I got two bodies because I'm going to make a yellowy seahorse, and I'm also going to make a like a corally kind of seahorse. And I hope I did enough pressure. Oh, look at that. I just want to point out again how awesome Altenew glitter cardstock is, that this die cut beautifully. Look at this guy. Look at him. He's so pretty. And I also have a little wing here too. I think I was missing another wing, but that's all right. We'll deal with that. And then I got another little head here. He's going to go there. He's going to go there. And then I'm going to put you right here. All right. And then you are pink. So I think you need to go to that side and you're going to go to that side. Okay. So I'm missing one little flipper fin, but that's fine. We will deal with that later. All right, so I'm going to put these guys together and then we'll talk about our backgrounds. And I know right away you guys are going to head over to the shop. And if you're not a subscriber for our mini delight, you definitely should be one now. So what's neat that comes with any of the sets is that, oh, I die cut the turtle. Yes, that'd be so cute on this card too. Imagine that. They have like all these friends. And so I'm just going to follow this right along. And so that layering guide comes into play. So I'm going to start off with this back. And I could take, if I had time, I would go ahead and ink these up and make it a little bit different. But in the interest of time, we're just going to kind of move on. All right, so I'm going to start off here. And I'm not going to, I don't have them for this side because I forgot to cut them out. But I am going to do this side. So this is my little glitter little section. So I'm going to put him right over onto there. And it tells me exactly where and how to line him up. So I'm going to put him right there. Okay. He doesn't have a back, so we're going to move on. And then I'm going to put this little creature on. So I'm just going to take some glue. It doesn't need to be everywhere. I'm just going to put it in a couple of little sections because this will stay on. And I'm going to do the same over on this side. And again, this glitter is so neat, this glitter cardstock. And this is really going to give our little guy a pop of some really cool color. Okay, it's not an Amy Lai without me using the tweezers. So we'll throw him on here. How cool is this? And he's going to line right up. How neat is that? Whether he stays or not is a whole nother thing, but that's where he's going to line right up. Okay, buddy, stay. There we go. How cute is he? All right, so my glitter cardstock, I'm just going to kind of pop these little sections out real quick. And I love this color because it has this really beautiful like gold and orange to it. And again, in the interest of time, I know we're popping out. I'm just going to kind of put him right over here just to kind of get a chance to see him because I have to get all these other little sections out. Okay, so he's going to go. So you can see how gorgeous that looks. And then we're going to do the head. And the head has a little bit of a base. So this is the one that kind of like secures it. So I'm going to put him right on here. And I just have to line up that keyhole right here. And then this is our cover. And I'm going to go ahead and put him right here. Now I can even... I don't have black gems because they're like across the room, but I can take a gem and make a little eye for him. So I can kind of do that little piece. Right? But this way you kind of have this like really neat little two-toned effect that happens with him. So his little snout is going to go up a little bit. But again, how cute is he? So cute. All right, I'm going to move this over here and I'm going to take my guy. Let's grab our backgrounds that we made. And I'm just going to show you how this looks when we put it all together. All right. So there's two backgrounds. I made one with alcohol markers, and the other one I made with alcohol inks. So I did both of those, and I actually have two cards here. So you can see this is one of our cards, and I can add in my little guy. So you can see how he really pops on that background because he's so nice and tropical and beautiful. I would actually be adding in our the seaweed as well. So I would put this in, cut this out, and add that in. And I'm just going to take a quick moment to grab my trimmer. And I'm just going to show you for this. This is still a little tacky. I wouldn't be doing this except for the fact that I have to right now. But I would definitely be making sure that this is completely dry. Now, when you make a mini slimline is 3.5 by 6.5. But this is my cover. So I want to make it a little bit smaller. And so I'm going to make it 3.25 by 6.25. So I'm just kind of cutting off these little edges. And I love the bottom of this. I might cut it a little bit flush with that dark and get some of this white. I want some of the white, but I don't want all of it. So I think I'm just going to cut it like right there. And now I'm going to cut my top to, this is supposed to be 6.25, which is probably somewhere along there. Oh, I'm all sticky because this is still too tall. Too tall. All right, I'm going to cut a little bit more of that top off. Okay. All right, so now let's take a look at this on a card. This would really be neat also on black or on gold, but now you can see with that background. And now if I take my little guy, I mean, look, just check him out. How awesome is he? Hey, Jerry. Oh my gosh. Yes, please do, Nancy. This is so cute. And get those alcohol inks out, guys. Look how gorgeous he came out. And you can see, like, this is like, if you have that friend, just a beautiful tropical card. So two backgrounds. This is the Graceful Seahorse Mini Delight set. So cute. And again, awesome, awesome, awesome. I would use these seaweeds. You could take the seaweed even and do a little bit of that stamping in the cloud white. And you can do an alcohol ink background or a marker background. And again, I stamped this in cloud white using the micro brushes. All right. So I hope you guys have a fabulous day. Han, what do you think? Does this make you want to go to the ocean today? Oh, I definitely do. I wish it was not so crazy out here. So thank you guys so much for being here with us today. I really appreciate it. Again, if you make any cards, please share that on social media and use hashtag Altenew because we love what you make and we love to see what you do. And I hope you guys have a fabulous day. All right. Bye, everybody.